What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Portia Money, and I'm back again with another video. Whew, y'all. As you can see by the title, it's a little emotional one, but I've been trying to record this video for a year. This February is a year. I've been trying to record this video. I've either always messed up or I just got too emotional, and I'm not an emotional person, so I'm gonna do it this time though. I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna post it, and yeah, so comment below, encourage me, because there's a lot more videos like this that has to come out. I have a lot to say, a lot needs to be explained. So yeah, before I get into the video though, please like, comment, subscribe. You can go on Instagram and you can follow my Instagram, you can follow Cairo's Instagram, you can follow Cairo's page on Facebook, and yeah, I'll put all that in the description below, y'all. And don't mind me, I'm really trying to learn how to edit and do all this stuff. Thank God for my cousin who helps me, because it is hard for me, I should say. But I'm definitely trying to learn how to make time. Like right now, y'all, it's like almost midnight, but Cairo is asleep, and I was up and I was like, you know what, let me just do this before I go to bed. So yeah, trying to make time in my days, because y'all, these weeks be crazy. Kai be having between 4 and 6 appointments a week now. Mom be tired, but think I'm ready to finally do this video. So y'all, to stay on track, I got some notes here. If you guys see me looking, it's because I'm trying to stay on track and not forget anything. You know, even though I'm still probably gonna forget stuff, or like I'm gonna try not to go too into my next video that I'm hopefully gonna try to record again this week, so that I can get some stuff out to you guys. It looks a little crooked, but yeah. So this video is about the day I found out that Kai had Spina Bifida. So it was a Monday morning. Nah, for real though. It was a Monday morning, and I was 19 weeks, but I was about to be like 20 weeks in a couple of days. So it was like 20-week checkup. You know, you go for that 20-week checkup and they check everything, literally everything. So it was that appointment. And it's crazy because normally I'll go to appointments and like I'll have so much anxiety, like, oh, my baby's okay, da 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 da. But this appointment, I was just ready to make sure I was still a boy. Like I was just like, yeah, gonna go make sure it's still a boy, da 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 da. And I had seen my OB right before this appointment that morning, so I went to go see my OB, and then I went for ultrasound. So yeah, and leading up to this, I was just like in the hospital the week before, like a lot, like just different things just happening with my body. It was just crazy. And then so yeah, so this is a 20-week checkup. It was Monday morning, November 23rd, 2020. And so yeah, so it was just, you know, watching Kai move around on the ultrasound, and everything was all good and stuff. And then like I felt like I was there for like a long time. And so the lady just keeps going. They didn't know that I knew it was a boy because I went somewhere else to find out what the baby was. So I was just waiting for her to tell me what the baby was. And she's just not saying nothing. Like she's just scanning. I'm like, all right, like been here for like 30 minutes. This is like the longest appointment I've had. So then she's like, oh, I'll be right back. Walked out. And I'm like, all right. Then she comes back in, starts scanning again. And then she was like, I'll be right back. I'm going to go let the doctor see the scans, you know, make sure everything's good. And I'm like, all right. And then she comes back again. And she's like, all right, hold on. I forgot to take a picture. And so she starts taking a picture again. I'm like, what the heck? And then she was like, oh yeah, you wanted to know the sex, right? And I'm like, yeah. She was like, oh, it's a boy, but I'll be back. And I'm like, okay. Like at this point she's acting weird. Like I'm like, all right, there's something going on. So at this point I'm like, even my grandma calls me. She's like, you've been there for a while. And I'm like, I know, like, you know, they're still doing the scans or whatever. So I was like, I'll call you back. And then I hang out with her, and the lady comes in, the ultrasound tech comes in with the doctor. And I'm like, all right, like I'm like, usually I know they like show the doctors the scans, but I've never had the doctor come in. So I'm like, confused at this point because then she brings the doctors in. And I was sitting there for like 15 minutes waiting for her to come back. So she comes in, but she comes with the doctor. And then she walks out. She just brings the doctor in and she walks out. And I'm like, all right, like, so he comes in and he's automatically like, how old are you? And I'm like, I think I was like 20, I think I was 23 or 22. And then he was like, oh, okay, is this your only kid? And I was like, no, you know, I have a 5-year-old. And he was like, okay, like, what do you do? Do you work? Da da da. And I was like, yeah, you know, I work part-time. And, you know, just telling him, he's like, oh, okay. And then he was like, just scanning me while he's asking all these questions. And at this point, like, I'm confused because I'm like, what the heck is going on? And then he's like, he turns the screen and he's like, you see that? And I'm like, no. I just see the baby's back, spine. He's like, yeah. But at the end, and then so he he put his finger around the his spine, at the end of the spine, and you could see a little, like, it's just like empty. Like there was, the rest of his spine wasn't there. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you know, I see it. He's like, yeah, so, you know, your baby has spina bifida. And I'm like, y'all, I heard of it before, but I didn't know what it was. But like, he was just like so in a rush. He was like, yeah, you know, your baby has spina bifida. And like, but so he just went into like, you know, he was just, y'all, he went to the extreme, like automatically went to the extreme. He was like, I feel like you're really young. You should rethink this pregnancy. And I'm like, wait, like you didn't even tell me what spina bifida is. And he's like, basically like, oh, you know, it's a defect in your baby's back and it can make him paralyzed. You don't know what can happen. We don't know what can happen, but it's going to be a lot for you because you're young and we think you should just terminate the pregnancy. Like, just going off. Like, I don't even know what's going on and you're just terminate the pregnancy. Like, you know, and I'm just like, I really didn't know what it was, but I automatically was like, no, you know, that's not an option for me. Like, I'm not terminating my pregnancy. You know what I mean? Like, and he's just like looking at me and I'm like, I'm not terminating. He was like, are you sure? I said, I'm not terminating. He said, are you sure again? I said, I'm positive. I said, I don't know what this is, but I'm pretty sure that I will figure it out. And so he's saying all this and I'm saying all this to him, but I didn't have a moment to actually process what's going on. Mind you, this is in the middle of COVID, so I am by myself, y'all. And I'm just like sitting there. And then so I told him, I was like, can you explain to me what's going on? And he's like, you know, telling me about spina bifida. And he was just like, you know, telling me like just a whole bunch of doctor stuff that I really didn't really understand. Like all I really got from it was that my baby had a defect and that he could be paralyzed. That's pretty much what he said. And so I was like, okay, so what are my options other than terminating the pregnancy? And he was just, you know, telling me that there was a surgery that I can do. And he was like, I either can do that or I can wait until the baby is born. But the surgery is a new surgery. It just came out in 2011 and a lot of people haven't gotten a surgery yet. And then he was just basically telling like, you have to go through the whole process and, you know, insurance stuff and, you know, just all this. And I was like, okay, well, I want to do that. Like no questions asked. Like if that's the best that I can do to help my baby, that's what I want to do. He's like, oh, I feel like you should go home and sleep on it. And I'm just like, okay, but that's what I want to do. So the lady comes back in and she takes more pictures and they start, you know, at this point now I'm a high risk pregnancy. So, you know, so many nurses coming in and they're just telling me like, you know, you got to get an amniocentesis, you got to do this, you got to do that. Like, and it was just a lot in one appointment. Like, y'all, I was there for a long time. And I remember after all that, I walked out and I just like, couldn't even make it out the door before I just bursted out in tears. And it's just because it was just so overwhelming and I felt so alone and so scared. And y'all, it was just, I remember I called my cousin. I was just in tears, like walking out the hospital. I was just in tears because I just didn't understand. Like I went in and I was excited about seeing my baby. And then I came out with the worst news a mother can ever get. You know what I mean? And it's like, it was hard, like, especially because I was by myself. Like, I just had to, like, take all that by myself. And I feel like that was the hardest part, is going through that by myself. But, that is the day I found out. And I remember I was like, you know, calling my family members and telling them. And I was just like, you know, that was my only cry too. That, like, you know, I cried it out in the parking lot. And I just was like, okay. You know, I was telling my cousin, I was crying. I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know about this. Like, I'm scared and I just don't understand why this would happen. And I remember like just bawling my eyes out, y'all. Like, I was bawling my eyes. Like, I don't feel like I'm about to cry. Like, it was just hard. Like, the hardest thing ever. And I remember I was just crying in the car, crying. And she was like, no, like, we got this. Like, we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna do research. We got this. We got this. Like, and honestly, that day I just felt like so defeated. So defeated. But I cried and then I wiped my tears and I got to work. I started researching everything I could possibly research, watch videos. I was researching, y'all, day and night. When I say all day, all night, 24/7. Even my family members, like, and it was just because, like, at this point, I have to fight for my baby. I'm not terminating my pregnancy. I will learn whatever I need to learn, get whatever information, call whatever hospital, do whatever I need to do to help my baby. And that was just the mindset I got, like, automatically. Like, I didn't take a whole 24 hours and cry. I couldn't do that because I had to literally get up and be strong for my baby. So that was the day that, you know, it happened. You know, I kind of was like, you know, text some family members, called some family members, just let the immediate people know and my prayer warriors know in my life that, like, you know, what was going on. A lot of people did not know because, you know, when stuff happens, sometimes you got to keep your kids covered, y'all. And I had to keep my baby covered. But yeah, that was the day I found out that Cairo had spina bifida. So, then I had went to amniocentesis and another ultrasound and to confirm a couple days after. And it was confirmed that Cairo he had spina bifida, but there's three different types of spina bifida. Cairo had the most severe form. He has the most severe form, which is y'all, this word is crazy, but myelomeningocele. Got it right. Got it. Took me a year. But that's the form that Cairo has. And so basically, for those who do not know what spina bifida is, I can explain it real quick. So it's a birth defect in which a developing baby's spinal cord fails to develop properly. So it doesn't just happen like at the 20-week mark. It happens like the first 4 weeks of pregnancy. This happens during the development. It just didn't show until my 20-week ultrasound. Spina bifida cannot be cured. Cannot be cured. But I mean, we got faith over here, so they say it cannot be cured, but I know that my baby will be fine regardless. Anyways, I just put that in there. Anyways, so basically, like, in the picture, I can put the picture of the ultrasound here. It's like at the end. So spina bifida can be at the bottom of the back, in the middle of the back, on the top of the back, anywhere on the back. Cairo's was like literally right at the bottom, like his tailbone kind of is right there. And so it's like a fluid-filled sac. It's like a little sac and it's open. The spine did not close or anything, so it's open. So it can affect nerve function and muscles below the defect. So if a baby has the defect like all the way on the top, it can affect from basically the shoulders down. So because Cairo is at the bottom, it is mainly going to affect his lower part of his body. So with spina bifida, can come with poor control of the legs and the muscles, loss of feeling in the legs and the feet, tightness or uncontrolled movement, lack of control of the bladder and the bowel, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So Cairo is one now, and right now what we are figuring out is that Cairo does have poor control of his muscles, and definitely his legs are very weak. His hips are very tight. So, I mean, he has came a long way, because I remember when I first brought him home from the hospital, just to burp him, I had to like pull his legs down. Like, they used to be so tight, but now like his legs are good. I mean, he cannot feel from the knee down right now. However, I know that God will make a way. I mean, he can't feel, but boy, he can cook, he can kick him. He be scooting around. I mean, he moves his feet. So I have faith. And Cairo has a lack of control in his bladder and his bowel. So he cannot control his urine. But it's crazy because most babies with spina bifida, they tend to hold in their pee, which makes them have to get catheterized a couple times a day. But Cairo does not hold his pee. He constantly empties. So he's constantly peeing. Like, if you're changing his diaper, you'll see him, like, dribbling urine. Or he's just now starting to pee in the stream a little bit more. Like, he'll pee in the stream sometimes now, but usually it's just dribbling pee. And if you're changing his diaper, if he coughs or if he sneezes or whatever, the pee's gonna come straight out. And he cannot control his bowels either. Crazy thing is that when he was 2 months in the NICU, he ended up getting a rectal prolapse because he's constantly bearing down. So he cannot control his bowels at all. He's constantly leaking poop too. It's getting better. I mean, when he was in the NICU, it was worse. It was like constantly going so bad that like he would rash really quick. But those are the things that we're looking at right now that is affecting him. He does have hydrocephalus. It is very, very, very mild. He, thank God, has not had to get a shunt. His hydrocephalus is very mild, but we are watching it. And so those are the things that we're watching. And that is how I found out that my baby has spina bifida. So yeah, so the next video will be about the in utero surgery, which I did do at 25 weeks pregnant. So that will be the next video. That'll be too much for this video, but be on the lookout for that video. It is coming very soon. So I didn't cry, y'all. I'm proud of myself. I did it. I did it. I don't really talk about that day because that day was, whew. I mean, that day changed my life forever. You know what I mean? Like, Cairo's perfect to me. Listen, my son is perfect. Perfect. However, this is something that we have to deal with every day. And it's hard. Like, it's hard having to see your child go through certain things, like, you know, procedures and all these things that, like, sometimes I'm like, God, I wish, you know, I could just take that from him and I can go through it. Like, it hurts seeing your kid go through certain things. And but what I can say is that he's a champ. He's a champ. Like, he takes things better than I do. Like, he's a champ. And I'm so grateful for him because, like, I be telling people, like, my daughter, when I had my daughter, she made me mature. But when I had Kai, like, he gave me strength. Like, he gave me strength. I never knew how weak I was before I had him. Now, he gave me strength. Not only strength, like, my faith has grown. Like, he has brought a different me out. Like, I'm so grateful for him. Like, I'm so grateful for both of my kids. But, like, he has shown me how to be strong. And I'm grateful for this experience. Like, it's people be like, well, you're grateful. I'm grateful. Like, you know, it could have been another way. Like, my baby could be dead and gone, but I'm grateful that he's here and I'm grateful that he's thriving. And I'm grateful that he is strong as he is and that God is continually blessing him. Like, y'all, blessing him. I'm grateful for my baby and, like, the journey that God is bringing us through. Like, it's a lot. But I wouldn't trade my son for the world, like, at all. I just want y'all to know. I wouldn't trade my baby for the world. But if you are a mom of a baby, or even a child with a young mom at that, with a child with a birth defect or special needs or anything, I just want to encourage you to keep going. Don't give up. Pray about it. It's going to get better. I know some days are bad. I have my bad days. I have a lot of bad days. Probably like one a week. But it's not even bad days. It's just like an overwhelming day, a tired day. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to say that you need help. I mean, I'm learning how to say I need help and saying that I'm tired, because we do have those tired days. People would think, oh, you just stay at home with your child all day. Like, no, we go to a whole bunch of appointments. We have to talk to doctors day in and day out, therapists in and out the house. Like, it's a lot, but God wouldn't give us more than we can bear. And just lean on God and reach out to somebody. Have that air. Like, sometimes you can't talk to other people who aren't going through the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, if you need somebody who's going through the same thing, comment below. I will talk to you. We can talk. We can vent to each other, because I know how it feels to need somebody like that. So that's it for today. This video was way too long. The next video is definitely coming out soon. Comment, subscribe, share, like Cairo's pages. We got new merch coming out and new things coming out, so make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, everything. And comment what you want to see. Yeah, that's it. I said way too many times. All right, I'm gonna go to bed because we got 3 appointments tomorrow. But good night. Thank you for watching.